Hey guys, what's up? It's me, dabadgummybear, coming back at you with another Wi-Fi battle. Today I had a battle against WillzSkillz, or his name's Will, and I will leave his channel link in the description because he's a YouTuber as well. So I'm just going to get right on into this battle. This was a really good battle, by the way. I'm just going to put that out there, so, you should watch to the end. Anyways, I led off with my clef key, and he led off with his guard chomp. And I have a dual screens clef key, so I'm just going to do exactly what his name is. So I'm just going to set up my reflect so I would be able to live the earthquake. So yeah, it was important to set up the reflect first instead of the light screen. And most guard chomps are physical. There was one special guard chomp that I ran into. That was a weird day. Anyways, so I just set up my light screen as well. So my Klefki did his job. As long as he sets up both of his screens, I feel like Klefki was a good contributable Pokemon to the game. So anyways, I switch out to Leprechaun to get the Intimidate off, and at this point the Garchomp isn't really going to be able to do anything to me because Scrafty is so bulky, plus the Reflect and the Intimidate. So I decided to just start setting up Dragon Dances, maybe hoping to get a little cheeky Scrafty sweep in there. But he switches out into his Venusaur Rex, and I'm like, okay, I hope this thing isn't a Mega, because then it would Mega Evolve and it'd have Thick Fat and Ice Punch. Would it do that much to it? Luckily it didn't. I just went for the Ice Punch just because I wanted to see how much it would do. It does about 40%-ish. And he goes to the Toxic, and at this point I'm like, okay, I just realized something. This is going to be one of those Toxic stalling Venusaurs. This might be an issue. But I didn't really want to switch out Leprechaun just because it had the Dragon Dance. He was poisoned, so I kind of wanted to just stay in. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep setting up Dragon Dances, and if Scrafty goes down, I'm taking this Venusaur down with me. So, the Venusaur just goes through the Synthesis, and that part right there, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely going to be a Toxic stalling Venusaur. And I was thinking they probably had Leech Seed too. I mean, in retrospect, I could have switched out to Espeon to deflect the Leech Seed and then go for Psychic, which would be super effective. But I wasn't thinking about doing that. I just wanted to get my Dragon Dances up with Scrafty and just cause as much mayhem as I could in the short amount of time before the Toxic and now the Leech Seed would kill me. So I got my leftovers up, get my HP back to pretty close to full, but then the Leech Seed happens and then the Toxic happens, and Scrafty's just not feeling so hot after that. Anyways, I just go for another Ice Punch, just hoping to see something happen. It doesn't kill him. It does probably about 2/3, or no, like 75%-ish to the Venusaur, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm kind of screwed here, because this thing's just going to be able to keep using Synthesis, and I don't really think I have any more time to set up Dragon Dances. But I was like, okay, if I'm just going to be taking all this damage, I'm just going to have to hope for some hacks and such. So as you can see right here, I just went for an Ice Punch, hoping to get the freeze. And luckily, as you can see, I did get the freeze, which was pretty hacksy on my part, but Pokemon is a game of chance. Like, literally, half of it is just chance. Anyways, so the Venusaur's frozen, and as you can see, the Leech Seed and the Toxic at this point are just going to easily be able to take out Leprechaun. So unfortunately, Leprechaun can't do too much more damage, but he did a good job. At least he froze the Venusaur. So I guess that's good. And unfortunately, my Reflect and stuff wore off right about then. And I just went into Gypsy my Cloyster, and I'm like, since this thing's frozen, I'm gonna start setting up some Shell Smashes. Yeah, so I got the defense drop, and all my other stats got all high and stuff. And I got a little greedy here, as you can see after this turned things up. Unfortunately, my light screen wore as well. I got a little greedy and went for a second Shell Smash, which in retrospect was a really bad idea. Because as you'll be able to see right here, the Venusaur thawed out, and it goes to the Giga Drain. I had the Focus Dash, but it kind of sucked because I was at 1 HP, so now after this Venusaur's down, you can just send in anything with priority and take me out. So I should have just stayed content with one Shell Smash, but I got greedy there, unfortunately. Anyways, I just went for the Icicle Spear right here, which was easily going to be enough to take out the Venusaur, even in like 2 hits. from the Icicle Spear, just because I had so much buffs. Anyway, so he sent out the pincer here, and I'm like, you know, this thing's just gonna quick attack me. And I had a feeling that it was Moxie, so he was just gonna quick attack without Mega Evolving. So I switched out into Trevenant. As you can see, he didn't Mega Evolve, so I was correct on that. And luckily, it just didn't affect me because I'm a Ghost type, and Quick Attack's normal type as long as he doesn't Mega Evolve. Now he Mega Evolves, I'm like, okay, now Quick Attack's gonna probably do a little over half to me. So I mean, I knew it could tank at least one. And I was really counting on this Will-O-Wisp to land right here. As you can see, I got my Citrus Berry up. So actually, I could take 2 because of that magical harvest and stuff. Anyways, so luckily my Will-O-Wisp landed. If it didn't land, I don't know what would have happened. Probably some bad stuff. Anyway, so the Will-O-Wisp lands. So he goes for another Quick Attack, and it's not going to do as much just because he's burned. And I just go for the Confuse Ray right here. And I'm just hoping to get some Confuse hacks right here. I mean, I pretty much just wanted to like disable this pincer as much as possible because I knew it could wreck a lot of the Pokemon on my team. So luckily he hit himself from Confusion, and I just went for the Shadow Claw just to get some damage off. And I got a crit, luckily, and then I got the burn, which took it out. So that crit probably mattered. I'm not positive it mattered, but it probably mattered. And luckily I just harvested a Citrus Berry right there. I'm like, okay, I am good to go now. Trevenant, you're looking pretty beastly right now. So he sends out the Darmanitan, and I was like, okay, I know I cannot take a Flare Blitz from that. So I just had to sack off Gypsy, just because he wouldn't be too much. He wouldn't be of too much use. So yeah. Gypsy fainted from that, obviously, because he only had like 1 HP. And Choice Banded, Darmanitan with Flare Blitz, and all that crazy stuff. Just, no, I don't want to deal with that. So I sent out Natsu, my beautiful shiny Charizard, because I knew that when I Mega Evolved, I'd be Dragon type, and I would be ×4 resistance to Flare Blitz. And I had a feeling that he was going to switch out right there, just because I knew that he couldn't really do anything to me. He was probably Choice Banded. So I just went for the Dragon Dance right there, just so I knew I'd be able to like pretty much outspeed everything else on his team. And he sent out his Garchomp, and I was like, you know what, I can definitely take this out with Dragon Claw. No problemo, outsped him. So I just took out the Garchomp. Now if that Garchomp was Focus Sashed, that could have changed this game, honestly. But luckily it wasn't. So he sends out his Milotic, and I was like, you know, I'm just going to switch into Bouncy House for the Grass Knot. And he just went for the Dragon Tail. I'm like, okay, well this is quite unfortunate. He got the crit, didn't really matter because it didn't really do that much. But I thought that this Milotic was physically defensive. So I kind of just wanted to switch out. I wanted to get into a situation where I could use Bouncy House and use Grass Knot against it, because Grass Knot does a lot to Milotic, because it's pretty heavy. And like I said, I thought it was physically bulky. Anyways, so he just goes for the Dragon Tail again, and brings out Charizard. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to switch it to Trevenant this time, because I had a feeling he was going to go for the Dragon Tail again. And hopefully it would switch me out into Espeon. As you can see, he does go for the Dragon Tail again. It's going to do absolutely nothing, because Trevenant is pretty physically bulky. And it just switches me out into Espeon again. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go for the Grass Knot now. Unfortunately, he switched out into the Darmanitan. I'm like, okay, well, that didn't work out too well. So, there's the Grass Knot. It's not going to do too much to him. And I decided I'd just switch out, go into my Charizard X, because like I said, it is ×4 resisted Flare Blitz. And, yeah, so he just went for the U-turn. I thought he was going to go for Flare Blitz, but no, he went for the U-turn, which still doesn't do too much, because it's resisted. So then his Darmanitan goes back to him, and he sends out the Milotic again. I'm like, okay, I don't want to deal with this anymore. So I switched out into Trevenant. I guess he predicted that, because I did it the last time. And he just went for the... Oh wait, no, he went for Dragon Tail. Okay, now I'm thinking ahead in the game. Shh, let's just pretend like that didn't happen. Okay, so... he just goes for another Dragon Tail, sends me back into Charizard. I wanted to switch out, because, like I said, I thought Milotic was physically bulky. He predicted it this time, and as you can see, he went for the Ice Beam right here, which isn't going to quite take me out, but it's going to do a good amount of damage. And I got my harvest up, and I got another citrus berry. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be enough to live another ice beam, so I decided I would just switch out. Oh wait, no, he switched out. I didn't switch out. What was? I don't even know what I'm thinking here. Actually, no, I did switch out. Yeah, I do know what I'm thinking here. So anyways, I switched out into Espeon. I predicted the switch. And I went for the Psychic here. And I was hoping that the Darmanitan would die from this. Unfortunately, he lived with a couple HP, and he went for Flare Blitz onto Espeon. And at that point, I almost kind of thought that I lost the game. Just because I needed Espeon with Grass Knot, or I thought I needed Espeon with Grass Knot to take out the Milotic. I was like, okay, well, I probably just lost there. So anyways, he sends out the Milotic, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to have to start attacking this thing. So I went for the Dragon Claw, and as you can see, it does about half, and I thought it wasn't going to do that much, that's why I didn't go for Dragon Claw before. If I knew it was going to do that much, I would have just kept spamming Dragon Claw into Milotic. But as you can see, he went for Dragon Tail, and he's going to be faster than my Trevenant, so I'm sure you all know what's going to happen here. He's just going to go over the Ice Beam, and that's just going to easily take out my Trevenant, because Trevenant is physically bulky, not specially bulky. So yeah. So now it's just a 1v2 situation. I have my Charizard, and he just has his Milotic and his Raikou. I was like, okay, man, I think I can take this back. As long as I can live this next hit, I decided to go for the Dragon Dance. Because I was pretty sure that I could live anything that this Milotic wanted to do. And I would have needed the Dragon Dance to knock it out in one hit. And so he went for this Scald. Luckily, I lived it at a 33 HP. And I was like, you know, I'm pretty sure I can one hit it with Dragon Claw now. So, as you can see, I just went for the Dragon Claw, and luckily it took it out. I was kind of scared that it was going to live with 1 HP, but it didn't. And then he sends out the Raikou, and I'm like, okay, as long as this Raikou doesn't have any sort of crazy priority moves, then I'm good. I got this one in the bag. Luckily, as you can see, he doesn't. I just went for the Earthquake, and he wasn't Focus Sash or anything like that. So I was easily able to knock out the Raikou. So that's going to be the end of the game. It was 1-0. That was a really close game. Will, great game. GG. Hopefully we can battle again sometime. Like I said earlier, he has a YouTube channel. His link will be in the description, so you should go check him out, like, now and stuff. So, yeah.